Hello everyone, this is Joseph Brewer here for ESFI, and I'm here at League of Legends Season 2 Finals, and I'm sitting with William Scarra Lee of Team Dignitas. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing a little bit bad. Like, I'm sick right now. I have a headache, can't consume food, but I guess it's not as bad as what I felt like 2 days ago.
Yeah, man. Well, your team placed second in Season 2 Regional Finals, falling to TSM. How did you feel coming into the Season 2 Finals, and what did you guys work on the downtime?
I felt pretty... I don't know about pretty confident, but I felt like we could take games from anyone in our group stage. We thought we'd have the hardest time against Sword, and the EU game was what we mainly prepared for coming in. It just so happened that it didn't work out well. Like, we got outplayed really hard by EU. It seemed to mentally pressure us the whole day, and we weren't able to actually escape that.
Well, at the NA Regionals, you talked about doing your homework in regards to picking and banning, and it seemed to work out really well then. But did you do your homework as much this time around as you did for Regionals?
We probably did more homework for this event than we did for Regionals. Like, we knew what almost every team would pick, with the exception of maybe Sword. Saigon Junglers were a little bit hard to scout. We watched both the games. We read the recaps. We knew they liked picking Karthus, knew they liked Aurelia, knew they liked Ezreal, and their support will like pick Leona if sometimes. And it just so happened that we didn't play well, and they completely crushed us.
Yeah. Well, let's talk more about this weekend. Your team went 0-3 in the group stages. Did your opponents execute stronger than you expected coming into the tournament, or did you guys just play weaker than you thought?
I think anytime someone loses, it's a little bit of both. But this time, I feel like it's a little bit more of us executing poorly. Like, I feel like we got significantly outplayed in every game. At least mechanically, we got absolutely crushed. And it was not. I mean, it's not a good feeling. I feel like we should have performed better. Our scrims leading up to this event were really, really close with TSM. So I felt like we should have had a stronger performance. I feel like everyone on my team agrees with me with that too.
Well, did your strategies get leaked coming into this event? Do you think that's the biggest part of your losing, or was that just a rumor?
I can't comment on that.
Okay, that's fine. We saw Patoy take a few fatal grabs against Najin Sword. What was going through your mind when all of a sudden a seemingly hard-missed grab turned into a chain ultimate right in the middle of a Baron attempt?
Oh, I talked to him afterwards, and he thought we started the fight bottom, and we killed Shen. Like, we picked him off completely, me and Kitty. And he thought Shen already used ulti, at the very last, and he didn't realize ulti was still up from Shen, because he just rezzed after a huge team fight. So he pulled him in, he pulled something, and then we got the Shen ult, and I was like, oh my god, let's run away. And that was pretty bad. But he landed, I think, 95% of his hooks that game. He played probably the best blitz game of his life. The only reason we were in that game is because he blitz hooked and was able to make plays that we weren't able to do without blitz.
Well, do you feel that Patoy is growing as a Dignitas support, and are you guys possibly considering any roster changes in the future? I'm
extremely comfortable with my roster. Us losing had nothing to do with just one individual. We all play badly. I feel like if you win as a team, it's a team game. No one's okay, this guy. People may say this guy carried your team, but everyone puts in their own contributions to win a game, just like everyone puts in their own contributions to lose a game. I don't think we'll have any roster swaps. I'm very confident in my team. Right now I just hope to bounce back from this for IPL 5, and that's the immediate future for our team.
Yeah. Well, after a result like this, what do you think you guys need to change as a team? Practice habits, lane changing, anything like that?
I just think we played bad. It was just I commented on mental toughness in another interview. I feel like we needed more experience at LAN events. We had Patoy with one LAN event with us, and we didn't, or two, I think. MOG, kind of a weird happening there, and PAX, I feel like there needs to be more synergy built with the team, so we just play together more. We practiced so much coming into this event though. I don't understand when people are NA teams don't practice. COG and A maybe not practicing that much. They may be putting in 4 hours a day, but us and TSM put in 8. Whenever possible. The only times you ever saw us in solo queue were we had maybe one break day a week. We didn't have any break days going the last 2 weeks, or if all our scrim partners left, just ditched us, and that was okay, well, we can't do anything else.
Yeah. What do you feel the next step is for your team going into Season 3? Is there any team house in the works or anything like that?
This is a question I get asked a lot, in North America. It's why don't you have a team house in North America? A lot of people misunderstand the importance of team houses. Team houses are there to build synergy with your team and for them to allow easier practice scheduling with other teams. The problem right now is that every other team with a gaming house isn't very serious. It's we have COG Prime, with which we couldn't scrim coming into this event, so we couldn't really practice with them. But like, they're probably going to be like, them and TSM are probably going to be the two biggest scrim partners we'll have. But even then, like, we've asked them to scrim before, and like it just doesn't work out. And I feel like it's because, if these teams can't scrim with us, we don't have a backup team because all the other teams are so flaky. They don't have schedules. It's like, we'll schedule stuff with other teams, and they'll just like be like, okay, we can't play. Like, someone's missing. I'm like, we just wasted like 3 hours scheduling this then. And that doesn't happen in Korea because I came back from Korea. We would literally wake up that day and be like, okay, let's scrim from 12 to midnight. And we would do that. We would literally play like, we'd be like, can you guys play? No, 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 yes. And then they have a much better infrastructure for their teams. The amateur teams go straight into their pro teams that I would say, like, outside like the top 5 for the US, like, or top like 8 for the US, the 8 through 16 for Korea is like really, really good. While the 8 through 16 for like US and even Europe is like not that great. I feel like they just have a better structure for their events. And I know that Riot's trying to bring that into season 3, but currently right now, like, I feel like the importance of a gaming house is diminished because other teams aren't taking it seriously enough in North America.
Well, with all that being said, do you guys think they'll be going back to Korea anytime soon to do any more practicing?
It all depends. I feel like we would love to go back to Korea, but we have players with health issues. Like, Dame doesn't really do well with he's got very, very specific health issues when he goes into like non-Western countries. So we weren't able to stay there like for a considerable amount of time. We would love to go back. We had like the best practice experience ever at Korea, but it all depends on how my team does, and like, I guess just the future is a little bit unpredictable for us.
Yeah. What do you think about the up-and-coming teams in NA, like MME, Ferris, Orbit Gaming, and a few more that are starting to attract significant attention to their recent success in like various leagues?
I feel like MME is going to be like MME is already pretty good. Like, they're definitely like a top 6 team. I think there's no question they're like within the top 6. I feel like Orb has to try out new players for like the last 3 weeks. Like, they don't have a solid roster. They keep lane swapping everyone. When they get a solid roster, we'll talk again. I feel like right now, even without a solid roster, they're a top 8 NA team. And that's like, the hard thing for me is like, I can't name any people outside of that. Like, it's like, okay, well, MME, Orb, I know Legion doesn't scrim, so it's like, it's hard for me to be like, are they top 8 still? They may still be top 8 without scrimming. So it's like, okay, well, what does that mean for the NA scene? It just means we don't practice enough. Or like, Curse is definitely top 5 or top 6, and then we have MME, Orbit, Legion, like maybe up-and-coming teams like Meat Playground might do well, but Meat Playground is a team that doesn't practice either. They don't scrim much at all. In fact, I know they don't scrim at all. And they've been doing well like online tournaments, but it really doesn't seem like a significant like growth in North American teams. Like, there's these top like 5, top 6 teams, maybe even top 7, and then below that, like, you have to fight for like it's just like the gap is so large between pro and amateur teams that the transition is extremely hard. Because like, the pro teams don't learn anything scrimming the amateur teams because they're not good enough. Right. And that might be taken with a little bit of like anger, but I feel like that's the truth because like the NA like amateur teams can't get the experience required to become a better team. Yeah. And that's just how Riot has to be the one to solve that. I feel like because they've already solved it in Korea. Like, there's definite growth there from the amateur league to the pro league. The OGN amateur league is called Nice Game TV, and it features like all these amateur teams. Whoever wins that goes up to the pro league, and then it's like you can see like a continual growth, like a strong transition between new team, good team, into like pro team, whereas that doesn't really exist in North America.
Other than just Riot, you know, being into that, helping the growth, the amateur teams into pro teams, what else can they do? Is there a practice regimen or any kind of structure they can go by, or is it just...
It's just that it feels like Korea has a lot of history with esports. They're like, okay, they understand the importance of managers, they understand the importance of like captains and like team leaders and stuff like that. And NA esports is very young, especially League of Legends. Although like this event is huge, ginormous, but the actual like experience that NA has with this kind of stuff is not comparable because Korea has had decades, like a decade of StarCraft experience, stuff like that. So they have people like managers who get on your ass to scrim, and they set up scrims for you, and they teach you where to improve on, and they give you like replays. They do a lot for you. They're also like your mental coaches too. And I feel like eventually, like, if North American esports has to be taken seriously, it has to transition to that way. Because look at all the other top teams. It's like M5 right now, who's the only non-Asian team. M5 and CLGU, like M5 has like a coach. They have like regimented practice hours, and they're very good. Like, that's all I can say about them. They're probably the strongest team coming in. CLGU actually is surprising me with their game so far. Like, they didn't scrim much coming into this because they just didn't. They can only really scrim CLG and A, and that kind of sucked for them. But because there wasn't another scrim partner they wanted to scrim against, they told me they were afraid that their strats would get leaked, so they couldn't trust anyone else but CLG and A. And outside of like those two European teams, there's like Fnatic left, and like SK. Like, SK didn't perform well; they performed as badly as we did, and Fnatic is like maybe the next step. And all of those teams have like their own managers now. Like, they have I feel like there's a need to transition to a more serious atmosphere. And at that point is when the gaming house, if a lot of teams do it, is when the gaming house is ideal. But until then, I would say, like, if Dignitas got a gaming house right now, like in LA, it wouldn't be effective. Like, we would still be scrimming the same teams and the same times, because we all wake up at like noon. And we're just like, can we scrim today? What about 1? Is anyone available at 1? What about tomorrow at 1? Can we get that? Like, we got someone. Oh, wow, no, we don't got someone. Like, they ditched us. Like, what do we do about this? Like, let's keep looking for teams. And we can't find those teams. Because a lot of people have other stuff like school. And I can't, like, I'm not blaming them for working on school or having work like that. But it just seems like the overall, like, structure in North America has a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. But do you think it'll get better with time, is what you think?
I hope it'll get better with time. I feel like it will. But how far is really depending a lot on Riot. Like, how badly Riot wants to support Season 3. Because they're trying to make growth, like, extremely fast. And whenever you have extremely fast growth, like, you really need to be careful about what you do. Like, just shoving money everywhere, like, doesn't work if you don't have a good game plan going in.
Well, you guys are going to be around here for another couple of days. Do you guys have any plans to go sightseeing around there or anything like that? Or
I think most of us are just like a little bit zoned out. Like, I think we're going to the Venice Beach a little bit, and then we're going to the Riot offices. I live here, so like me like leaving, I'm gonna go back to my apartment, obviously, and maybe like stream or maybe just take a break for a couple days. We have IPL 5 qualifiers next week, and we really want to perform well at IPL. Like, that is our immediate goal. Like, we know we sucked this tournament. We got outplayed horribly. I don't feel like we played up to a standard that people expected of us. Even like the people with realistic like notions, and not just like our Fnatic fans thought that we would perform better, and I did too. And it hurts. Like, it hurts not performing that well. So we'll get out, maybe take a half week of break, and then we'll immediately start practicing for IPL 5. I feel like that's our next major tournament. Aside from that, there's no major lands left. Maybe MOG does League of Legends. I'm not sure. It hasn't been announced yet. Maybe they don't. If they do, I don't know if we would get invited because of the controversy that we had last time. But if we do, like, we'll be there. But I'm not like hedging bets on that.
Okay. Well, with all that being said, who do you think is going to take it all this weekend, or I guess next weekend?
It's hard for me to say. I feel like CLGU doesn't look as strong as people think. I feel like they're the fan favorite, but like I feel like that's a lot of personality. Like, they're just like a really like affable team. Like, everyone loves them. They're great. They're great guys to be around. Like, I have almost no qualms with any of them. Whereas I feel like the team with the most legit chances at this event, I really liked how TPA performed. Like, they had probably the best game of this tournament so far. Although a lot of people are gonna say that comeback was like the greatest game they've ever seen. I don't think anyone sitting in the players' lounge thought it was amazing. I just thought the other team got outplayed. But like the first TPA game, I think, was like extremely well executed. They had a really strong strategy going in, and they executed it well. I feel like TPA or M5 is gonna take like, it's so hard. They're all amazing teams. I feel like TPA and M5 are the ones I would be hedging bets on.
Nice. Well, thank you very much, man, for the interview. You can feel free to say anything to sponsors or fans or anything like that. Where can we catch you at?
Okay, well, that's the first thing, definitely. Apology to the fans. Like, we didn't perform well. And, like, no one is more disappointed than, like, us. Like, we feel like crap about it. I like to thank Dignitas for that, like, immediately dropping us after this performance. Like, Odie was just like, tough luck. Like, it sucks, but you'll learn from this. And we're just like, we don't want to learn from this. Like, we don't want to be how our progress is like this. Like, it's so brutal. But aside from that, like, obviously I love our sponsors. Like, thank you Alienware, Intel, Antec, and as well as the multitude of other sponsors on my sleeves right here. And I guess that's it.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much.